minutes. This is for Rachel, you big, fat, white, nasty, smelling, fat bitch. Why you took me off the motherfucking schedule with your trifling, dirty, white, racist ass, you big, fat bitch, oompa loompa body ass bitch. I'm coming.
I used to be the biggest booster, but I'm retired now, but they cutting the food stamps off. Don't be scared, just put that shit in your bag ever so slightly. So you gonna grab all your items, all your food items, make sure you get everything you need. Then you gonna walk down the aisle, see where there's nobody and no cameras. So boom, we got all the food. I ran out of room in my purse, so I did have to put some in my ass, and here's just me pulling it out. I just ignore the ass juice because it's free. What's up, y'all? It's Tear.
What the hell? Shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem. Rakar Kadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to all the elect brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. This is Brother Kratazah from the Fountain of Living Waters, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. This lesson being entitled, what did I entitle this lesson? This lesson being entitled One Step Closer, No More Food Stamps, or at least for November, and at least right now, because in theory, they could reinstitute the government, open up the government, and then give SNAP benefits to all the people or whatnot. But the spirit is not bound by theory, or the spirit's not bound by common sense. The spirit is what the spirit is. So yeah, the benefits can be restored, but if the Lord don't want it to be restored, if the Lord is working on the minds of the people, like the scriptures say, or it's like the mind of the kings, working on Trump and the leadership or whatnot, to not allow these food stamps to come back, then they gone. But you have to prepare really for both worlds. But as you can see this, you're gonna have people like this chick. I'll just turn the volume off while I just play it. Who's gonna get it how she lives. She's gonna go and she's gonna steal the food, whether she get caught or not. Or just like old boy, he said that he's gonna me running from security with a pack of hot dogs in my pocket after my EBT card reads insufficient funds. Basically saying, they're going to steal. They're going to get it how they live. But you have a lot of people saying that, Also, you got a lot of people saying that, women going to, be a lot nicer. And I'm going to leave it at that. They're going to some funds up out of you, so they're gonna be mighty kind to you. But you also have the spirit, like in this video. This is how the black woman really feels.
This last 2 minutes. This is for Rachel, you big, fat, white, nasty, smelling, fat bitch. Why you took me off the motherfucking schedule with your trifling, dirty, white, racist ass, you big, fat bitch, oompa loompa body ass bitch. I'm coming.
I bet she is coming up there to but yeah, man. The scriptures speak about, let's get this. This is Matthew 24:12. It says, and because the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. People are not gonna have pity. People are really just gonna be self-sufficient and do what they need to do to survive. She said, "Fuck the ass." What she said? She put it. She was so desperate to get the food, to get her little pork, that she put it in her butt. That's crazy. But what's the alternative if you don't eat? So she's gonna steal. She's gonna put it in wherever, and you can see the water dripping from it. But yeah, that chick that's on Facebook or Instagram who you think is so beautiful or whatnot, this is probably her reality. She got I ain't gonna say it. She got stolen food. Got to do this to survive. You got to do this to feed her kids. This is a new reality coming to a lot of people here in America. And maybe ultimately it's a test. They want to see how the people are going to react to it. Are they going to start stealing? Are they going to crash out? I guess the video ain't there no more. But are they going to crash out and start rioting? Because it can go to that level as well. And it's just going to give more pushback from the government, and we're just going to be one step closer. That's the ultimate goal. We're one step closer to the end. So let's grab let's grab this. This is Isaiah 30 in chapter 1 or 30 and 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that taketh counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may ask in the sin." And Jake is a hard-headed, a stiff-necked people, very rebellious. It says that counsel will counsel but not of me, because they'll go to Uncle Sam before they go to Yahweh Shem Shai. We're a spectacle to the world. Look at Thruski, and Lord's will, that's a separate lesson. We'll talk about that. But they don't care. People don't care no more. They're gonna do what they got to do. And like I said, they'd rather go to Uncle Sam, rather go to the American government than to the Lord. So that's their covering. It says that walk to go down to Egypt and have not asked in my mouth. And Egypt is a representation of America. So yeah, you want to get on your SNAP EBT card benefits, your Section 8, your all the other government programs that they got, general assistance, so on. Some people really need it. You have people who can't work who really need these programs. But then you have people who are able-bodied people who, want to sit there and pop out, 13 kids, or able-bodied people who just want to take advantage of the system. Don't want to get up and go to work every day. They rather stay at home, have 6 kids by, 7 niggas, and get EBT, and they rent $30 a month. They had $1,500 in food stamps. And they sitting here flossing on you, calling you a bum ass nigga. but they rent $30. But that's the world that we living in, and man, things is really about to get turned upside down, because that same chick, she ain't gonna have that food stamps. Hell, just wait till they start taking the other benefits away. And like I said, there's people that's out there that really need those benefits, who really, do, really can't do anything. But we at the end. We're one step closer. So this devil is going to need you more and more dependent on him. This is how you all right. What if they say, or you want your SNAP benefits back? You got to have a digital ID to go with it. The digital ID, that's what they're pushing now. That's the divide that they're pushing, especially over in the UK. This could be a Trojan horse for that. So Lord knows what they got coming. We got to be along for the ride, and we're gonna see how things play out over the next few months. Keep an eye out on how things are going. It says that walk to go down to Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Yeah, so if you want to trust in America to give you, peace and safety and nourishment and food stamps and $30 rent, all kinds of goodies or whatnot, pleasantries, basic necessities, then that's cool. When the shit hits the fan, you stick with America, is what the Lord is saying. Don't come at me. Don't come at the Lord when the shit didn't hit the fan, and you didn't gave him the middle finger the whole time. You can't expect that. They say keep the same energy. That's what the Lord is saying. Keep the same energy. But we'll get this last precept. This is 2nd Esdras 15. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, and men shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses for the sword, and the spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So when there's a food shortage, that just shows that people lose their mind. People don't care. They'll spoil their neighbor's goods. All right. They'll have no pity upon you. Watch the movie The Road. Watch The Walking Dead. When that commodity of food is worth more than money, is worth more than whatever, how you going to get your next meal? People will do whatever. Your best friend will turn his back on you over a can of peaches. But that's all I really wanted to get with this video. Lord's word is edifying. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar Gadash, giving double honors to the apostles and others of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity of the men and women who follow. Shalom.